What's up, you guys? Welcome to the video. I am here with Brian.
Hey, what's going on?
Who I have not done a video with in forever. Seriously, it's been forever.
Yeah.
We're actually doing something really cool at his house, getting stuff ready for these shirts. That's all I'm gonna say, but it's coming very, very soon. But I wanted to record a video. I've been getting a ton of questions about supplements and fat loss. So that's what this whole video is gonna be about. It's gonna be about supplements and it's gonna be about fat loss. So the first point at the very, very beginning of this video that I absolutely feel like I should make is that for me personally, I believe that to lose a massive amount of weight, to lose 50 pounds, even to lose 10 pounds, you do not need any supplements. Yeah. There's no supplement that we're gonna show you that is necessary and that you need to buy or spend your money on to lose weight. But with that being said, I just wanted to make a video to show you basically what I use and what I think is worth the money and then what I think is definitely not worth the money.
Let's do it.
So, let's do it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is protein powders and protein supplements, so like protein bars. I've actually made a whole video about protein and weight loss, but for me personally, I feel like protein is one of the supplements that is actually, I guess you could say, worth your money, that like makes sense and there actually is a reason to take it. So like the reason that I wanted to have Brian here in the video is because he knows a lot more about like supplements and about this stuff than I do. So I figured why not bring him in the video. So.
Yeah, my thought with the protein thing is a lot of people will end up eating so much more food because they want to hit that certain amount of protein, so they end up eating so many more calories. Yeah. So if you need an extra 20 grams of protein at the end of the day, it's super convenient to be able to just throw this in a cup or put it in your oats or something like that.
Yeah, so like for me, the thing that like I said, none of this stuff is necessary, right? So for me, I would much rather you, if you're trying to lose weight or if you're just trying to, track your protein, to get that protein from actual protein sources, chicken breast, beans, has a lot of protein in it.
You up more.
Things, real food that has protein. But if you are tracking your protein, you realize that you're maybe 20 grams under, I do use a protein powder. More than not, I actually end up going for a protein bar, just personally for me. This fills me up a lot more than just a scoop of protein is gonna be. But like I said, everything here is it's not like protein powders are like specifically gonna help you burn fat. It's just extra protein. If you don't feel like eating some chicken, you have a scoop of protein. It's something that's sweet. It's a little bit different than chicken, and that might help you lose weight because instead of eating a candy bar, you have a protein bar or you have a scoop of protein. That's why it would maybe be beneficial for weight loss. So up next, I want to talk about multivitamins and fish oils. Now these these are gummies because
you're 5.
Because I'm 5 years old, and for me, I can't take like fish oil and multivitamins usually taste terrible. So the reason I like gummies is because I know that right when I wake up, I get some gummy.
You're guaranteed to have it
delicious.
Every single day.
So I like taking them. So the way that I think about multivitamins for me personally is like, I think of it as insurance. So, I know that I don't have the best diet in the world, and I feel like most people, it's hard to get everything in, right? It's hard to get everything in. So for me, having a multivitamin and just taking it gives me that insurance, but then it's also that peace of mind to feel like, okay, I'm using this and it's, I feel like I'm giving myself those nutrients that maybe I wouldn't be getting normally.
Well, and also all the vitamins and minerals that you have in your body serve a function, and the function is all sorts of different things, but a lot of them serve the function of increasing your metabolic functioning, your actual ability to break down calories, break down fat, and use it. And if you don't have enough of certain minerals, like for example B vitamins, that's why they're in like energy drinks and whatnot. They give you energy, but really they're just turning on things that should already be turned on, but you didn't eat the right foods to get those turned on. So exactly, it's an insurance, and that's the way that it could help you lose more fat.
Okay, all right, so see, this is why he's here talking to you guys. Next is fish oils or omega-3s. So fish oils have a ton of omega-3s in them, and that's like the main thing that's great about fish oil. So can you explain like what omega-3s do and why they're so helpful?
Totally. Omega-3s, omega-6s, they're essential fatty acids. You need those, again, for metabolic functioning. Not everyone, pretty much nobody in a westernized civilization is getting all of the things that they need to get. So by using these, you're able to, again, turn on those metabolic functions and do what your body's just supposed to do when it's getting the right amount of foods in. So that makes it so that you can kind of, again, insurance that you are getting the vitamins and minerals and the fatty acids that you need.
Okay. And then also another thing is that they help with joints too, right? Like you are getting those healthy fats, and they help with, like, if you are weight training and you're doing a lot of that stuff, or even if you are, you are heavier and you're walking around a lot, that's your cardio, it's going to help with that those joints
and ankles for sure.
So fish oil is definitely something that, I mean, I would recommend this 100% to anybody, or omega-3s. You can do fish oil or omega-3s, it's really up to you, but definitely would recommend this, I think, to anybody in general, just for health in general.
Look. So the next one we're gonna talk about are greens, basically just dehydrated vegetables and a bunch of different, like, roots and sorts of plants and things that have benefits for you. The great thing about greens is they dehydrate them and just put them into a powder, so then you can throw them into, like, straight up water if you don't like the taste of it at all. Just have, like, a health shot in the morning. Or you can throw them in a smoothie, or if you're willing to, like, oats.
Or if you're like me, you can buy the ones that are super sweet.
Isn't that candy cane?
These are holiday cookie flavored.
That's sexy.
All right. Or if you're like Brian, you can get the unflavored ones. But I like these. You can get these at Target. I've seen them at Target. I've seen them at Sprouts. But yeah, they're really, really
The reason
good.
why these are cool instead of a multivitamin is because these aren't actually vitamins that are like derived or synthesized. These are actually just literally the plant itself desiccated into a bunch of little pieces, which is really good for you because it's actually technically a whole food still.
There is a so every single morning I make, like, I just put this in water by itself because it tastes pretty good. Every time I take it, I'm like, yes, I'm so healthy right now.
That's how I
like,
feel too.
I am the smartest person of all time because I am drinking my greens. But yeah, I really 100% recommend them. I feel like they make me feel better, and like it's like the same thing with the multivitamins, is they give me that insurance. Like, I feel like, all right, awesome. Like,
mentally you're like, all right.
I got enough of my organic carrot and green tea organic mixtures.
That being said, please also eat vegetables.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Not to replace them.
Remember, supplements are to supplement your diet. And no, I had my greens. I don't need to eat any more vegetables.
Screw veggies.
All for the rest of my life.
All right, so the next one that is up is BCAAs. You've probably heard of these before, and you might not know that much about them. They're just kind of talked about a bunch.
What does BCAA stand for?
Right, so it's branched chain amino acids.
I already knew that, but I was just like trying to get that in there.
The science of it, and I think there's more to it than just the science for the benefits, but the science of it is that you have amino acids in your blood, right? And when you're working out, somewhere around 45 minutes to 70 minutes, you're pretty much running out of that free aminos that are going through your blood system. So by drinking some BCAAs while you're in your workout, you can kind of extend the amount of time that you have amino acids in your blood. Okay. Thus, you don't have to break down your muscle to get those amino acids back into your blood. That way.
So it's like all the science behind it.
Yeah.
And then for me personally,
this is more important.
Now, you know exactly what I'm saying. Will you give us a second?
Why are you doing this to us?
We're trying to film a video.
Jump out.
Just jump.
Parachute down, come on.
So like I was saying before that plane rudely interrupted, the reason that I like BCAAs and like what I think it helps for fat loss is because they taste delicious and they're almost all 0 calories. You can't see what that says, but they're almost all 0 calories. So like for me personally, if I'm like eating a meal and instead of like drinking like maybe a soda or, you know, juice that has a bunch of calories in it, you can drink, use a scoop of this in water, and you're getting that really nice taste, and you're not adding any extra calories to your meal, which is huge, right? So for fat loss, you're trying to be in that caloric deficit. And BCAAs help me a ton by just, I'm not drinking any calories because these are 0 calories. And there is all that extra good stuff, like it's helping you preserve that muscle and it's doing all of that stuff. So then it's like the same thing. You just feel really good about it and you're like, man, I'm like super smart and I know exactly what I'm doing.
That being said, I am also the same exact way. And the only reason I drink them is not for that science part. It's literally for the flavor. And for me specifically, I get a little bit of craving right before I go to bed. So instead of having a protein bar or a little bit extra calories, I just drink this.
And it works out.
Go to bed.
Exactly. Up next is one of the most asked about supplements that I get asked about is pre-workouts. The ones that I use is G Fuel. I am sponsored by them, but this is the pre-workout that I use. Now, the reason that I think pre-workouts are beneficial, and again, like I said about everything, it's not necessary, but the reason that I think it's beneficial is if you're working 12 hours a day or whatever it might be, and you want to go to the gym, but you just don't have the motivation, and knowing that when you take this pre-workout, it's going to make you feel better, it's going to make you like have that energy to go to the gym, then why would you not use that, right? So like I said, with with pre-workouts and things, the main thing that's really getting you up and like active is the caffeine that's in it. Yes. So it's you could instead of doing a pre-workout, you could do coffee instead, or whatever
even
it is.
A caffeine pill itself.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but for me, I just love. Obviously, I love how this stuff tastes. So it's like that extra incentive to be like, well, it tastes delicious too, so why would I not drink it, you know? So that's like what I like, and I know that there's a ton of different things inside of pre-workouts that'll give you like a really nice pump, like citrulline mally. That's that's something that's in a lot of pre-workouts. And there's obviously a ton of other ingredients in pre-workouts, and if we tried to sit here and talk about all the ingredients in pre-workouts, that would be another whole video.
They're all
like
different.
Seriously, yeah, they're all really, really different. But the main thing that's in pre-workout that kind of gets you up and gets you going is gonna be the caffeine. And again, like I said, there's a ton of other stuff, but I really love pre-workout. I use it a good amount of time. So yeah, it's something that I use a lot.
The way I look at it is if you're somebody who's not going to go to the gym that day, and if you take some pre-workout, it's gonna motivate you to go to the gym, that is something that's gonna make you lose more weight.
Yeah.
Because of you going to the gym, not because of this being in your blood. See what I'm saying?
And the thing is that I think is really important is like, I don't want people to think that they have to take any of this stuff. Like if you feel like you're going to the gym and you don't need pre-workout and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty motivated without it, then don't feel like you need to buy anything. But if you are someone that's like, man, it would be kind of nice to have a little bit more of a pick-me-up, then use a pre-workout. Like I don't see anything wrong with it. Yeah, so pretty simple. And last but not least, we're gonna be talking about fat burners. This is probably what a lot of you guys clicked on the video for. Now there's a ton of like science stuff that goes behind them. I'll have Brian kind of explain it a little bit better. Again, he's better at this stuff than I am, so
with the fat burner, the only thing you're really getting out of it for the most part is it's gonna have some sort of stimulant, which is usually just caffeine because it's super cheap. So again, you're thinking of the same thing as a pre-workout, you're eating caffeine in your system. That's what's making you feel energized without any calories. The only other benefit that I think is really actually there with a fat burner is that there's something in it called thermogenics. So there's different ingredients that can kind of raise your body temperature ever so slightly, which helps you ever so slightly to burn ever so slightly more calories during your workout. And I think you mentioned this before when we were talking, like it's less than 100 calories.
Yeah,
it's
like
nothing.
That's the thing with fat burners, that if they really burnt fat like you think they would,
yeah, you're just sitting there.
I mean, imagine, would anybody be overweight?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you just took this pill, like what I think a lot of it is that it gives you energy to move around a little bit more, which will get you to burn a little bit more calories. But it's not like it's gonna be burning an extra 500 calories for you throughout the day by doing nothing. It's just gonna maybe motivate you a little bit, and then obviously increase that heart rate. I was gonna say heart pressure, heart tempo. Increase your heart rate. So when your heart rate is increased, obviously your heart is beating faster, so you're burning literally just a little bit more calories. It's very, very, very slight.
And I would really like to mention that this has lots of caffeine in it. So if you're taking this all day like it's prescribed.
Okay, so this says, this brand right here, each one capsule, okay, has 83 milligrams of caffeine, and it's telling you to take about 3 capsules each time. That's more than a cup of coffee, and that's just like to start your day off. So that's why like you have to be really careful with fat burners.
And then they usually want to sell you more pills, so they're gonna say do it 3 times a day.
3 times a day,
You're gonna get
up.
a gram of caffeine, which is not good for anybody. That's the dangerous part about these. That's why most people are usually talking badly about these, is because it can be very dangerous if you're not aware of what you're actually putting into your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the only people that I feel like fat burners might be really beneficial for, or like give you that extra edge, is if like you're competing and you're like 3 weeks out or something like that, and like you really need to burn an extra 50 calories a day, and like that's really important to you, then maybe a fat burner will be helpful. But if you're trying to lose 50 pounds, 100 pounds, I seriously, like this is the one supplement I will say, don't spend your money on these. Don't spend your money on fat burners.
And don't get distracted on the supplements. If you have a lot of weight to lose, don't get distracted by all these little things you can buy. Instead, just make sure that you're doing the right thing with your diet, and make sure you're drinking water.
Yeah, absolutely. And like that's a good point to end on. Like I said in the very beginning of this video, none of these things are necessary, and especially if you're on a tight budget, do not spend your money on supplements. Don't spend your money on supplements, spend it on food. It's much more important. Yeah, if you want to start going to the gym, absolutely spend it on the gym membership before you start stressing about supplements. Don't even go into a supplement store and ask a couple questions, because those people that work in those supplement stores, their job is to try and sell you on stuff. And the reason that I'm kind of I get so passionate about that is because I was there. I was the person that ended up spending a ton, like seriously, hundreds of dollars on all this stuff that I didn't need. Like everything that I'm telling you not to buy, I bought because I thought it would help me. And so just like seriously, if you're not 100% educated on what exactly you want to get, don't even go into a supplement store and ask questions, because they're gonna sit there and tell you lies to get you to buy stuff.
Yep.
So be really, really careful with that. And like, with that being said, I hope that this video kind of helped you out if you are deciding to buy some supplements. You know, it gave you some good recommendations. Again, none of this stuff is necessary.
Yeah.
You can do this all on your own, but this stuff might give you that little bit of, you know, energy, or it might be actually helpful to get a little bit extra protein in your diet, or whatever it is. So yeah, definitely. But I want to thank Brian for being in the video. As you guys have probably noticed, he's very good on camera, so he does have his own YouTube channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and link that down in the description. Is there anything that you want to say before the video
No,
ends?
I just love you, and I wish I was here with you more often.
I know.
He's always CrossFitting, and I'm always working on other people's projects,
Yeah,
and
so
we never get to see each other.
we don't get to hang out as much, but today's been good.
YouTube house is coming up very soon.
Yes, YouTube house is gonna be good. But again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that Brian wanted to say.
Look how buff I am! He's just looking down at us, just like,
Imagine. He's like, oh, that's Obese the Beast.
that sucks for you.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.